Hello. Hi. How is everyone? How are you? Okay, let me put my glasses on so I can see what's up. And see if I can see the live chat. I need to be able to see the live chat. Hello. What's this? Oh, I'm pressing different buttons to see where I can see the live chat. If anyone is here, oh, now I can see it. It's coming in. Do you have sound? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? All right. Anna, hello. Good evening. Y'all can hear me okay? Thumbs up, emojis, or just say, yes, I can hear you. You can hear me. Yay. All right. Okay, so I hit like go live, and right as I hit go live, like back here behind me, there's like this barn, and all of a sudden I hear these cats fighting. There was some sort of cat fight, but it seems to have cleared up. I guess those cats are on the struggle bus too. But you're probably going to be hearing all kinds of sounds, birds. The frogs will start eventually, but it just felt good to be outside. So if you're here, if you're watching, drop a hello. I know Anna and Jason are here. Thank you. But if you're joining, just say hi. And today I just wanted to talk about why you struggle, why I struggle, why we struggle, why sometimes does it feel like the bus or the train that we have hopped on is the struggle bus or struggle train? Why does it feel like we're always hitting potholes and there's always something, right, to overcome? And it seems to be what I hear a lot of people saying, and what I feel is just it's hard to catch a break. It's hard to get to the point where you can just relax and take a breath. So hopefully this evening, while we're live here, you got a cup of tea and can take a little sip. This is a sweet clementine tea. It's for stress support. And it's got like the ashwagandha and clove and orange and clementine in it. And it's kind of a brightening. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I am practicing healing my eyesight. Part of that is being outside without glasses on, doing some sun gazing at when the sun is low, not directly into it when it's hot, but also perceiving distance and adjusting my eyes. But to read your beautiful comments, Your Bay MYA, hello. Kimberly, hi, nice to see you. Have you all been on the struggle bus lately? Who's been struggling? Who's been struggling? I want, put an emoji up if you've been struggling. You've just been feeling these chaotic energies, or maybe you're supporting someone who seems to be struggling. Oh, I have more than normal lately, Anna. Yep, Fansters 10 VR. Your mom just woke up? Cry? Okay, was mom woke up from what? What did mom wake up from? I want to hear about it. I hope she's doing okay. All right. So if you've been on the struggle bus, let's just get into this a little bit. So, hello, I'm Stephanie. My channel is Creators on the Crest, at Creators on the Crest 1111. I welcome you here if you're new. I do a lot of tarot content. So if you like tarot, if you like oracle readings, and you're into energy work and that kind of stuff, this is probably going to be an interesting channel for you. And I have a lot of free content on there, a lot of readings that go up consistently. So I hope you enjoy those and get a chance to look at those. I also have on this channel a podcast called Real Life Mages, and it is so cool. I've put out 5 episodes of the podcast here on YouTube, 4 last year, and then I just did a 5th. And then we did this, the 5th episode that we just did, it was with Teresa of Yourself Evolved. And I think you might really like and enjoy that, especially if you've been through any traumatic experiences, or maybe even where your body's been in pain for a long term, or you've been up against anything like that. So Vanster said, my mom just woke up from my little brother screaming. Oh, poor little brother. Yeah, everybody's receiving and perceiving these energies that are going on right now so differently. So just take a moment wherever you are across the globe, wherever you might be, just give yourself permission to acknowledge where you're at. And if where you're at is in a stressful place, if where you're at is in a painful place, we're just going to acknowledge that, because we're not going to deny how we feel, even if how we feel isn't so great. Okay? So we're going to let whatever it is that we're going through inform us. We're going to let it be what it is. We're going to give ourselves permission to feel what we're feeling. We're going to give ourselves permission not to compare ourselves to someone else. This isn't a party of my pain's worse than your pain and you don't know suffering like I know suffering. We're not going to get into that dynamic, okay? This is not a competition. Everybody comes here with their own unique blueprint and their own unique soul journey. So we're going to acknowledge and let that be. Let ours be ours, okay? Because we came here with a reason and with purpose. And on some level, even if it's not connecting on the human level, or on the human level, it looks super duper 3D, nasty, messy, which it does. And we're on that struggle bus and we're hitting potholes, and sometimes the road smooths out, but we wish it smoothed out more, right? We're going to let how we're feeling be okay. That's the first step in accepting this dynamic world we live in, right? It's a world of contrasting expressions. So we're going to get the good, we're going to get the bad, we're going to get the light, we're going to get the dark, we're going to get it all, right? This is a very dense, interesting experience for our spiritual beings to be here right now. So if you're on the struggle bus, it's okay. We'll try to make the ride as fun as possible. So acknowledging where we are at, that's the first step. Just letting it be. Maybe if you've got some tea or a little evening drink, here's a little Grogu. Isn't that sweet? He makes everybody feel better, doesn't he? Okay, so I wanted to continue. And let me turn off my notifications because a bunch of stuff keeps popping. I'm going to turn off my ringer so that doesn't distract me there. Okay, so here we are, we're in life, and sometimes we get the fun bus ride and the smooth bus ride, and sometimes we get the struggle bus, okay? So one of the ways that we can begin, okay, you don't have to be perfect at this. This is part of being human. But one of the ways we can begin to feel embodied and empowered and be more at ease and in alignment with our healing process is to look at where we might be outsourcing our power. And so this is for anyone and everyone to reflect on as an individual. Where might you be outsourcing your power? Okay, now this can be very obvious things, like some people have addictions, right? And some people, let's just an example, are addicted to alcohol. And so they're outsourcing their power, they're outsourcing also their healing process to something that in the moment feels supportive to them. It numbs the pain, it stops the pain, right? And that's why they go for it. They don't even necessarily go for it because they're addicted. They're going for it to make the pain go away. That's why we need to acknowledge our pain, acknowledge where we're at, acknowledge where it hurts. Right now, I'm in the second phase of a migraine, and I'm feeling it now over my right eye. It started on the left. I'm well aware of these. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do about it. I know what works for me. I've had these since I was 33. We all have something. We all have something that we deal with. So really just taking a moment here, scanning your body even and seeing where you might feel uncomfortable or where things might feel painful. It might be more than one place. Just do your best to breathe love from your heart into those areas for yourself. But let's take a look. Let's be willing to look while we're doing this, right? Because the healing is going to take place simultaneously to our living, right? So here you are, you're listening to this mostly impromptu podcast that I'm doing today, kind of half planned. I wasn't even sure I was going to be in a place where I could go live and do this because of the way I've been feeling over the last couple days, and I've needed a lot of rest and a lot of self-care. But I decided, I felt that I had taken the time to fill my cup enough that this was good. And I wanted to come on and acknowledge, my own struggle and make it real, make it known that these things happen, right? These things happen to us. We get in these places and we get in ruts, and sometimes we get in ruts for a few days or weeks or months or even years, right? Some of us who are doing very acute healing may need more time, right? So while we're doing this podcast, my intention is that you're going to be healing, right? So you're acknowledging where you might have pain. That's the first step. You're sending love to it from your heart, and you're taking a look, and we're going to be gentle with ourselves at where you might be outsourcing your power. So I gave one example of like outsourcing power to alcohol to try to numb the pain instead of figuring out how to do that within oneself. Now, obviously, if you've just been in a car accident, you've broken bones, okay, you need to go to the hospital. There are acute situations and very painful experiences that require medical attention. So it's not like in those moments of criticality, we're gonna stop and say, how can I heal myself in this moment? We may be in a state of shock and not even able to do that, right? So we've got to be able to make those distinctions. But when we're not in those super acute situations and we can get some sort of grasp on how we're feeling, we can begin to look at how we outsource our power. Okay, now maybe that's to a thing like alcohol or sugar, right? Maybe it's, and that might be responding to parasites that we have in our bodies that are screaming for the sugar, the little yeast, those little guys all screaming for that. They want that. Right? And we might go ahead and eat that cookie because, boy, we're craving it, right? And that might be a little bit of outsourcing our power, right? We might be kind of deviating from our path. We might be outsourcing our power into someone else that we actually care about. We might be outsourcing our power into some religious or spiritual figure instead of maintaining the power in ourselves and then reflecting on the essence and the vibrations and the things that said teacher or figure might be offering, right? And so that can be really difficult to people sometimes because what it makes you do is it makes you take responsibility, all right? Now, this isn't the kind of thing that we press or push on children. Children are unable in many cases to make their own decisions. So this is for adults. My message tonight is for adults. Adults that now have full accountability, authority, and responsibility for their life. And you may not be responsible for what happened to you. You may not have chosen what happened to you, but as an adult, you are now carrying some level of trauma and pain that deserves to be healed, right? And so that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, one of the things I mentioned was at times that can feel really overwhelming. So it may be coming through in the physical. You could be feeling emotionally overwhelmed. You could be feeling just like you cannot calm your mind. The mental chatter and stress and anxiety is really high, or a combination of. And so we're also going to give ourselves permission to take baby steps, okay? Maybe your step today is just drinking that extra glass of water, and that's enough for today, all right? So we're not going to push ourselves over the edge. We're not going to push ourselves till we're even sicker. We're not going to push ourselves to the place that we're judging and saying, I should be better by now. I should feel better by now, right? We're really going to take a baby step, and we're going to listen. After we take that step, we listen, and we listen to our body, and we listen to our spirit, we listen to our heart, we listen to our mind, and we see where we're at after we take these baby steps. Hello, Derek. Bonjour, bonjour. Cheers. I've got clementine tea tonight. Do you all have a nice beverage or some water? Drop it in the comments. Are you drinking something healthy and nourishing for you? I told you there might be sounds. Oh, here they come. It's a motorcycle, y'all. It's a motorcycle. Let's see. Looks like a Harley of some kind, and it's an old dude. Just cruising through the suburbs here. He'll be passed in a minute, but all right, so we're here, we're acknowledging how we feel, we're acknowledging our pain. Oh yes, outside, isn't it? It's nice, isn't it? Woo. It's good to be outside. There he goes. Now he just turned around, went back down the same road he came. All right, because sometimes we need to go back and just test the same road, I guess. So we're not comparing ourselves to others. We're not comparing our pain or our healing process. This is not about one-upping others. It's about you with you and how you can move through the struggle. So here's another thing that might tend to trigger people at times. And it's a question for you to reflect on. Do you define yourself by your pain instead of confronting your pain? Okay, this can be really, really, really subtle. I've done it where I have spoken about depression as my depression instead of the depression I'm feeling, or my anxiety is through the roof. You've heard people say that, my anxiety. Owning it, right? Owning things is good, but are we defining ourselves? Are we making it a part of our identity and a part of our psyche? Or are we making the transformational process and the inner work part of the journey and part of the reason that we experience what we experience? Because somewhere in a connection to us is our greater being. It's that part of us that is multidimensional. It is uncageable energy that we carry. It's that knowing of ourselves throughout all space and time. And it can be hard to connect to that when we have pain in the body, pain in the heart, pain in the mind, in the mental space. And so we have to be willing, and we have to have the courage and the bravery to confront that. So a pot of coffee might be on hand there. Yes, get your coffee, right? So asking yourself, do I define myself by my pain, by my diagnosis, by my condition? Does it give you stress when you're meeting people and getting to know people to be vulnerable and telling them about what you've got going on, right? So do you try to hide that sometimes? I know a lot of times, especially in America, in the workplace, you're encouraged to pretend, just to suck it up and to keep going, to just gobble down the Advil or the Tylenol and just work through it, right? That's a big, just push through it, right? And there may be times we can do that, and there's going to be other times we can't. where that's really difficult to do, where it's just too much for us. And so we have to be willing to be advocates for ourselves. But if we're not confronting the deeper meaning behind what's going on with us and why we're having the experiences we're having, then it's going to be hard to really transform it and reconnect with that greater part of ourselves. So the inner work here is really important, and it's going to shift and it's going to change and it's going to flow. And the best you can do is to honor the process and know that you are an evolving human. You are a multidimensional being that gets to evolve and that gets to have some choice in this. So it's about taking some of your freedom back for yourself here. All right, so when we're doing the inner work, it's actually something that we can have control over. It's actually something that we get to dictate. Now, maybe our inner work is writing poetry for the evening. So each and every day, we can pick something that serves the inner work. Maybe it's writing some poetry. Maybe it's drinking that extra glass of water, something very simple. So when you're wiped out and you just cannot do anything else, what's one small thing you can do? Maybe it's drinking an extra 8 ounces of water and hydrating yourself for the day. Maybe it's taking a bath. Maybe it's choosing a more nourishing meal or vegetables and fruits that will help you, right? Rather than feed the problems you're dealing with. And then giving yourself a little credit for it, celebrating it. We celebrate online, we go like this. We say, woo, everybody feel it, celebrate, yay. We do little spirit fingers. That's how we do it on these. So you can be at home going, oh yeah, I'm gonna celebrate, and try to think of one thing, 1 or 2 things that you did in the last week that you can celebrate. A lot of times, we don't stop to celebrate. I'm horrible at stopping and celebrating what I achieve. I'm always looking at what I haven't done yet. Has anyone done that? Anyone guilty? Guilty? I see Kimberly's taking some breaths. Yeah, breath. Maybe your goal today is to take 5 mindful, deep breaths, right? It doesn't have to be super fancy. But as you commit to those little baby steps and you begin implementing those, your day-to-day, the things that you can control, that's where you become more grounded in yourself. And from the more grounded place, because I've seen this happening lately, it's been more and more difficult to ground. Anyone had trouble grounding lately? Like you've had to go extra, like a little extra to ground? I mean, I literally had to put bare feet in the dirt. I had to feel my feet sink into the mud, all right? Because I was having trouble over the past few days grounding myself just at all, with all the chaos I felt, right? So grounding your energy in whatever way that works for you. I find nature and the outdoors to help a lot with that. So we have what we can control, the beautiful inner work, the self-care that we do, right? And again, don't pressure yourself to take it all in one big lump. Little baby steps are fine too, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So the counter to this is focusing or overly focusing on all the things outside of yourself, which in our reality field at the moment, if we look at alchemy, is the effects of what's been going on inside the collective, all of us, and also the collective's inability or naivety or inexperience in doing the inner work collectively, right? So we've become more disconnected from, you say it, fill in the blank, nature. We've become more disconnected from community, right? We've become more disconnected from our breath, right? You fill in the blank with what you feel has been disconnected for you. And then that will also help you see how you can take a step, one that you decide on from the inside out, the best step for you to move forward. Maybe you need to connect with community more. Maybe You need to breathe more, whatever it is. But the place you don't have any control is to overly focus and dive into that field of effects where it's nothing but chaos, right? The best thing we can all do is the inner work where we go inside. We're going to really do our best any way it takes. Anybody ever do this thymus tapping? I love this. And I know it's good for your immune system, but I also feel like it reminds my mind to come down into my heart space. Ashley's here. Hello at the party. Woo! Courtney's here. Hello, hello. Kimberly says, even disconnected from our own inner compass. Right, and that's when, got something flying. It's a little plane. It's going down to the downtown airport here. All right, so I'm tapping away on this thymus. It brings me into my heart space. Yes, thank you. This is actually, I'll show you guys. It's like a vest, and I love it. It's big, and I feel like a wolf or something when I wear it. It's like this huge, fluffy thing. And since it's spring here, and it's warmer, but it's not like super warm yet. In the evenings, it gets cold overnight and then warm during the day. So I like to wear this, but thank you. Thank you. Yes, I love this thing. It's like, ooh, I feel so safe and cozy. Maybe you just, maybe one way you can take care of yourself is just bundling up in your favorite blanket or your cozy slippers and just really loving on yourself, right? So, okay, so we're breathing. We're coming into ourselves. We're hearing the beautiful birds sing, right? Anybody ever felt like they're free falling with nothing to grab onto? The young people these days call it spiraling. I love it. I love it for my younger people, my younger crowd. I really want to look at this bird. I think it's a cardinal, but I don't see it. It's up there somewhere. Maybe it'll come a little closer, but sometimes I felt that free fall. In the tarot deck, we call that the Tower card. If you've ever seen the Tower card, maybe it'll come up. I'll pull some cards shortly here. The Tower card. Oh man, that's just like where everything feels like it's so chaotic, like you've been hit with a lightning bolt. It's your car breaking down. It's the toaster on the fritz. You have to replace your dishwasher. I was just talking to my neighbor. She's like, I've had my 3. And I'm like, I've had my 3. It's the garage door, the lawnmower, and when she's like, it's the dishwasher. And, and we've all had these things like kind of happen, right? It's those times where we get to practice, okay, how can I be most aligned in this situation, even when something's going wrong, even when the effects of the garage door sensor being misaligned or the coffee maker finally being on the fritz or whatever it is, right? How can I be most aligned in the moment, right? So yes, Tower power, I love that. We can really benefit, right, in our universe of contrasting expressions from actually feeling the free fall. Anybody been skydiving? I did that. Whoa, what an intense experience where you literally do free fall until they pull that chute, right? But it's like there's nothing to grab onto, right? And you're just like, spinning. Eventually you will land somewhere, right? And the whole landscape is transformed after these moments. But in the Tower moments of life, we can find power. We'll find the power to rise again. We'll find the power of release. A lot of times it's release for us. We're having to release something. And I know lately I've been feeling stuff so bound inside me that needs to be released. And I was saying to my partner Jason, like, and maybe I said it to a few of my friends, I feel like I need to cry, but it won't come out. Who's had that happen? You feel like there's so many tears, or there's just this primal scream that needs to come out, but it won't for some reason. And so sometimes these releases, they come in layers, right? Maybe it's not coming out because I need to work through a certain layer of it first. Land in the landscape. Yeah, so maybe there's layers to this. Hi, Pam. Oh yeah, do you guys know each other? That's so cool. I know some of you might know each other. Yes, primal screams, like the blocked kind of feelings. And you know, sometimes when I feel that, I like to just go out on the ground outside and just get on like all fours and just kind of give it to Mother Earth and say, Mother Earth, because let me rewind and remind everybody, you have a sacred agreement with Gaia Sophia, with Mother Earth, the planet that we're on, to be here, incarnate on her body at this time. She's the ultimate mother, okay? And you have a sacred agreement with her. She, like the galactic energies, like the cosmos, knows what to do with these energies. You do not have to feel bad about stressing out Mother Earth. She knows what to do. In fact, part of the problem right now, and why there's so much chaos, is that we're not connected in with the shamanic energies where we can bridge the spiritual and the physical and be in harmony with Mother Earth and let her transform some of these things, right? Let her take the tears, let her take some of the pain. How many times do you make an offering to Mother Earth? Good question to ask yourself, right? I was just out and I went to the park the other day and I was doing my thing and I was like, I forgot an offering because there's times I make the offering of, this is my pain, Mother, please help, right? And there's the time where I might take some Palo Santo or, just some dried herbs and leave them in nature, as just a little gift, right? So there's different kinds of offerings with Mother Earth, but not being afraid to give over some of your pain to her energies, and she will transform them. For crying out loud, we know what magma is and lava, right? We know what that stuff is. We know how much pressure is going on under the ground, right? She can deal with those energies. She knows how to do it, right? And so you don't have to feel guilty. You came here, she accepted you here for a reason, and you have a connection with her. So you're going to want to be in that community with her. And of course you can gift back, but in those moments where you really need release, ask her to help you with those layers, right? I love Mother Earth. I absolutely love her. And I love these, what's the word? Forces of nature. Forces of nature. And I know there's a ton of interferences. I know we see certain straight, I see them right now. There's straight lines of clouds, the fake clouds in the sky. There's all that stuff we have to deal with, right? That we're weeding through. But wow, how cool that we're all here right now. How strong are we that we are navigating this? Wow, we're like cosmic badasses here, okay? This is the ultimate playing ground for a soul. That's why there's so many souls here, because it's where we learn to evolve more than any other place. This world, and perhaps I leave it open. I love sci-fi fantasy. I leave it open. There could be other worlds out there, right? Whether now, in the past, or in the future, where we can do the same kind of work, this deep work. But here we are, we're at where we're at, right here on Earth. So we're meant to have a relationship with the planet, and she can really help us with our pain. She's the one that's going to catch us when we fall from those tower moments, right? Because not all of us have the luxury of having our parents to be able to catch us, whether they're living or not. Some people do not have that luxury. Some people don't have siblings. Some people don't have friends, trusted confidants that they can go to. And so working on that. Some of you are working on building community. You're working on building friendships. You're working on building the friends that become family. And that's beautiful. So think about how you've done that, right? Body work. Who gets body work done? Hello, Courtney. I get body work done. I'm about ready to sign up for another session with you. Body work is so important. Now, I'm going to say it like it is, because I understand the more resources you have, the more easy these things are to get your hands on, right? So we're going to acknowledge that, but there are ways that you can help yourself if you can't afford a session, or you can't afford the class, or you can't afford the fancy meal planning thing, right? You can still help yourself. And that's again, the inner work, because you want to change that inner environment to attract in what you desire from the outside. It's only going to be done from within here, not from what's going on outside of you. All right, that's where you have your power. Okay, and so are you listening to your body? Are you disconnected from your body? Okay, so I know sometimes there are times in life where we are disconnected. There can be acute injuries, there can be literal blockages, tumors, and things like that in the body, right? And a lot of you that might be tuning into my channel, at least, very sensitive. You're like a radar. Your body is like a radar, and it picks up so much. And so it's very, very important that you are reminded now, like I remind myself, to make sure that the sanctity of your energies is protected. I use the circle of the magician. I love that. I'm getting ready to do a video on that. It's going to be so cool. I just have to pick my outfit and everything for that, get all the props ready, because it's going to be a good one. Yeah, it can be very challenging when we have actual blocks in the body, and how to acknowledge that that's going on, but go deeper within ourselves when it's painful, right? When it's actually painful, or we're just exhausted. Like Anna mentions, it's easy to disconnect when I'm feeling fatigue related to MS. So if you have autoimmune can really affect a person long term. It can also produce some of the most beautiful evolution I've ever seen in people. All right? Autoimmune disorders, because medical science doesn't do a very good job of helping with that, right? Check out the homeopathy. Got reminded of that today. I was listening to Dissolve the Divide there, Derek. I was listening to that one with Alona. That was great. Go check out Dissolve the Divide channel here on YouTube, and really acknowledging what's going on in the body and our ancestry, homeopathy, right? How we can heal ourselves naturally, you know? I got my tea here tonight. I have my herbs here. I had coffee this morning, though. I promise you that. I just can't drink it after a certain time, because I'm a woman of a certain age with acid reflux and other fun symptoms that keep me awake at night. So, yeah. So just, accepting I have a sensitive body. Some of you may have to take greater care or greater steps to care for the body than others. It seems like other people are out there just having no problem bouncing off the walls, doing whatever. And here you are just trying to get a moment's energy, right? You're just trying to get a moment's energy to get one thing done. And that is the beautiful intensity of living in a universe of contrasting expressions, of living in a world of duality, right? The shows with myself and Zaralath were awesome also. Yeah, you've got a lot of great shows on there. There's so much good stuff, y'all. It's just right out there for free. Go check that out for sure. And I wanted to talk about today, so my beautiful friend, and I think she's also maybe been on your show, Derek, Anjali Ramaniuk from Radical X Woman on Instagram. Check her out. She just put out a really great, she had just come out of a bodywork session, all right, and beautiful woman, doesn't need makeup, doesn't need anything, right? Just naturally herself, and had been inspired to speak about the interesting shift that we see some people moving from the new age into the born again Christian dynamic. She had a beautiful talk on that. And I mean, just came straight out from her relaxation. That's another thing that happens when we can get ourselves in these relaxed states. When we can get the body work session, we can get in the red light sauna, we can get in the bath, the salt baths. When we can do these things, oftentimes that's where some of our biggest downloads will come. And it's very exciting. Yeah. And so she had just this beautiful thing to say, and it was so in alignment with what I was already vibing with saying tonight. So that's why I say check it out. She just says it in her own way, in her own words, in her own style. And that's the areas where we can all overlap and understand, yeah, I get it. Would I have used the exact same words? Not necessarily, but that's what makes us all beautifully unique and different. But I totally got what she was saying. I got the essence of it, and it was super powerful, right? And it was about understanding that power is within. It's not in the false love and light and the we're burping butterflies and farting rainbows. Is that what it is? Like riding unicorns in the sky, kind of, which is kind of what the new age kind of got into, Pisces, Neptune, all that. Woo, way out there. and it's also not about prostrating ourselves to the government or these religious structures, right? And oh, we're the sinners, and mea culpa, I'm so bad, and I deserve this, and the only one that can save me is outside of me. So I'll pray to insert whoever you want to pray to there, right? That's outside of you. It's understanding the divine within. It's understanding the divine within, and that this is where the power is. It's inside you. And everybody says that's what they don't want you to know, right? That's what they don't want us to know. So it's not about just the love and light and the airy fairy and all of that, all right? It's not about the cults and the twisted and the death and destruction and the inversions, okay? Those would be the false light and dark that I always talk about. We make the distinction that there is an organic light and an organic dark, and our goal is to hold both of those within us. We have to accept and understand that we have darkness within us, that we have shadows, that we have those kinds of things running through us as much as we have the light, and to be able to hold those in balance and be aligned. That is when we have connection with creation. That is when we get ignited. That is when we can bring our will force, and I always go like this, into alignment, because I'm connecting with creator, or creator being, natural prime creator of the universe is what I like to say. Some people say God. That's fine. Whatever your word is for it. And then I'm ignited. The ignition from that connection comes in, right? I'm ignited. It comes all the way down into my heart by the higher force. In Christianity, they call it the Holy Spirit. So we're making distinctions. We're taking the inversions out of it. We're purifying it for what works inside for here. You may have your own words for it. Sarah Les says, which show with me and who? We were talking about dissolving the divide. And then, so you have the higher force, okay, you're getting ignited by that. And I get excited even talking about it because it makes me feel good. And then it's my job to align my will force, which is how I express in the world, how I'm expressing outward in the world, into the will, into how I take action, right? So all of this is coming in, and then I get to determine how to make that visible in the world. And so here I am on Creators on the Crest on YouTube doing that, right? So yes, find your way of doing that, right? Everybody has a unique way. Some of you that are watching right now are absolutely amazing writers, artists, storytellers. Oh my gosh, storytellers. I jealous of some of you all. Like, some of you are so good at dedicating yourself to your practices. It's unbelievable. Like, I mean, the universe is giving you a medal. I hope you know that. You're getting the trophy, the universal trophy, according to Stephanie, all right? Yeah, it's really amazing what some of you all are doing out there, and how you are expressing through your will force in the world, how you have that authority and that responsibility and the accountability. All of that's there, right? And that's what I think some people are afraid of. They're afraid of being responsible for themselves. It's easier, right? It's easier. Take the blue pill. Just outsource yourself to all that, right? Just it's God outside of me's will. Is it? What about your will? In alignment with that creative energy. That's where it comes from. All right, you guys ready for some cards today? All right, let's get some tarot cards. This is the Prism Tarot. Getting a little funky colors. Since I did, if you saw this on Instagram, I found this funny picture and it said like struggle bus, and it was like a big school bus with like breaking down and catching fire, and it was all wonky, and it was funny. And that's how I felt. Yeah, I'm on that crazy struggle bus, yeah. Sometimes it be like that. All right, let's see what the tarot would like to kind of tell us today. Oh, why? Why? Because you all are strong enough to handle all this. So, 5 of Swords, and it says defeat. And we have the chess piece tipped over, checkmate. Checkmate. Who got checkmated or feels like they got checkmated in these last bit of energies, or who knows what these particle collider things are doing, you know, these fields of buzzing and, you know, a certain 5 initial G kind of energies, right? So it's easy. It's easy to feel defeated. It's easy to feel knocked down before you even have a chance to get to do what you want to do, right? And that can be tough. That can be an energy, but it's what we do, right? When we have these setbacks, it's what we're doing in those moments, that shadow work, where we're looking at the darkness, the anger, the rage, the grief, the guilt, and that can lead us to feeling defeated. Right? That can lead us to feeling like we've lost before we even get a chance to start. Whew. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what are we doing? We're going to acknowledge that. We're going to tell ourselves, listen, I live in a universe of contrasting expressions. There's these laws of alchemy that are brilliant, that I can study. See you later. If you got to pop off, I understand. It's kind of late where some people are. So, you know, really taking your power back will help you navigate these times where you feel like, I can't even get up. Before I get up, I'm knocked down again, right? And what's that song, that Chumbawamba? I get knocked down, but I get up again. That tenacity, all right? I'm a Cancer and Saturn in Cancer. Sun and Saturn in Cancer. Talk about tenacity that I've needed, right? We also got the 7 of Swords here, and it says a scarcity mentality. This came up the other night, didn't it? Maybe for my Q&A. Ashley, do you remember this one? I think this came up. See, this is a collective energy as well, where we are pitted against each other. We think that for one person to have a lot means that everyone else has none, or, you know, something like that. And we're not in alignment with nature. We're not in alignment with the natural resources. They're not distributed properly. They're not shared properly, right? And all of this. So we're dealing with this inversion and illusion, right? That we're trying to literally get ourselves through these clouds, right? We're trying to get our piece of the pie, but we're not led to believe that Mother Earth is the pie, and she's there for everyone, right? We have all these other systems and these dynamics that just will honestly fry your brain if you think about it too much, right? It just, like, at least for me, being a more emotional, intuitive person, I do have to distance myself from things like that sometimes, because I can feel the vibration of this, and it's not the best. So what's the advice? The 8 of Cups. Walk away. Look at those little feet. That's your little feet on the earth right there. Go get your feet on the earth. Bare feet on the earth. Walk away, right? Walk away. Get your pleasant space. Go inside. Get in that hermit energy if you need to, okay? That is the kind of thing that will help us when we are feeling these other stressful, conflicting energies and we're dealing with those. And, you know, it's okay to get angry about it. It's natural to get angry, right? It's what you do with that. Do you use it to drive you? Do you use it to empower you, to ground yourself and then walk away, right? This is where we want to go with it. Okay. Now, this kind of leads me in because I talked about the Hermit. The Hermit card is the number 9. And I was like, okay, I want to get a rune tonight that feels like what I'm feeling, right? I'm feeling the struggle. I've been feeling like I'm held back. I've been, angry at the algorithms and angry at whatever, right? And felt my energy just kind of getting siphoned into that. So I was like, what can I work with? What rune can I work with? And I got Hagalas. So I'm going to show you a couple different iterations of this rune. Uh-oh, here comes the boy. Come here. You want to say hi? He wants to say hi. He just went on a walk and he's showing off that he's back. All right. So we got Hagalas. And it looks kind of like an H, kind of like an N, capital, right? 2 lines straight up and down like the Gemini sign with a little bit of an angle on the line that connects there. Now, this one came up. It is the 9th rune of the Elder Futhark. It is the first rune in Heimdall's Et. Anybody a Heimdall fan here? Okay. I always think about Heimdall being the watcher, kind of watching and guarding the Bifrost, the energy. This is about you guarding your own energy, perhaps, right? So in the Et is like in the runes, it's like a family. There's 3 different families of runes in different Ets. So if you imagine it like it's kind of like a little family. And so the energy of Heimdall will kind of oversee the energies within the runes that are a part of that Et. And I'm still learning, and if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Zeralath might know. I did learn the correct pronunciations of the runes, but when it comes to the other Norse words, I get a little, I have to go and seek it out a little bit more. And you say he's an underrated guardian god. Yeah. Okay. And so just a little caveat here, because I am of European and Welsh, French, Old Germanic, Scandinavian descent, this is what works for me. In every culture, there are different symbols and words and pictures that mean different things. So that's the importance of your ancestry and connecting with that. So to me, working with the runes is super powerful because I get a really personalized ancestral experience from it. But you will get to choose whatever works best for you. Okay? All right. Okay, I got it right. All right, good. So we've got Hagalas, and I have several different, I have a lot of rune sets that are wood. I really like the wood element with runes. Most of them are wood. I have one resin here that's more feminine in nature, I guess. It's got some pressed flowers in it, but I'll just show you the rune in several different ways. It stands for hail or hailstorm. There's that force of nature I was talking about. Look at this with the Ouroboros around it. Okay, and so Hagalas is about transformation. It's about change, evolution. It can be a rune. Now I'll show you the pretty one here, but it's a little harder to see, but maybe not. There it is. The lighting's pretty good for it here. It's about merging, so it's about connecting. Have any of you ever worked on building bridges in your own blueprint, perhaps in your astrology? I've done that. It's really, really powerful. I have certain north node, south node bridges that I've built, or I will build a bridge between my sun and moon. You can do this energetically. And I think Hagalaz is a really good rune for it, because it literally, you can see a bridge going across, connecting two together, right? And it's about tempering, the tempering forces, the temperance card, right? Testing. So how you test different things in life, the inner harmony. Ashley, bye-bye. Bye. Oh, thank you. We'll see you next time. Protection. This is about protection as well. Now, in its opposition and in the runes, it's called Merkstave. That is where it can mean catastrophe, the chaos. It can also mean stagnation, those moments where we feel stagnant, where we don't feel like we have our power or are connected to our power, pain, all right, and suffering. So when we look at the Merkstave and we look at the shadow aspects of Hagalaz as well, it can really inform, right? Because remember, we're accepting all of these aspects of ourselves. So I'll just read a little bit off this cute little Runimal card that I have. Of course, it represents hailstorms, so it's kind of when things are kind of hard going, you know? It's like wanting to be out in nature, but you can't get out into nature for some reason, right? It's that challenge. You have to build the bridge somehow. Natural forces, destruction, turmoil, undeniable or unchangeable things. It's hard to overlook the power of Hagalaz, and that's where Heimdall comes into it, a very powerful Norse god, very, very strong, very has a lot of sight, a lot of vision into things, right? Parallel to the physical world, storms and destructions have brought about what? Invention, innovation, maybe houses. Anybody seen the Earth ships? Anybody know of those Earth ships in Taos, New Mexico? Michael Reynolds built them. Brilliant, right? Buckminster Fuller, I think, did the geodesic domes. Yet we still live in boxes. I don't know. I don't know, you guys, what's going on with that? But Hagalaz is about weathering the storm and growing from it. So figuring out what we can grow out of the pain, right? It's really going to be the lesson presenting itself to you. That's that testing I was talking about. It's the lesson. And so we can work with these rune energies and understand them and connect ourselves in with the forces of nature. Begin to look at ways we might bridge different aspects of ourselves or our blueprint. Heart and mind connection is something people need to work on. Womb, women, your womb connection to the heart, right? A lot of people, the heart to the throat here, your voice, right? Your voice might need to come out. Okay, a few more cards, then we'll wrap up for tonight, y'all. Thank you for staying with me. I didn't know I was going to go an hour. I just said I'll go. We don't have a brilliant sunset tonight. I mean, it's not very colorful, but that's okay. The frogs are starting up. I love the frogs. And some hungry baby bird or something is over there squawking. All right. Oh, look at this from the Shaman's Oracle, the Shaman's Dream, number 22. That number has come up a couple times. I think it came up. Get ready tomorrow for you Aries. Aries, happy birthday, Zaralath. You got that Aries, right? 2 came up in that reading as well. I feel like it came up somewhere else, maybe in Frequency Friday, when I was doing the Frequency Friday. And this says the Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. Wow. It kind of this, when I look at it just kind of at a distance, it reminds me, it looks like Groot kind of with the, how Groot has the like trees, like a tree trunk, but actually it looks like spikes on the top of this Fool. And then it's got like fairy wings. It may be some sort of like puka or fairy kind of energy, the Fool's Embrace. And you can see like kind of the fetal position that it's like, up in like that. Oh, your birthday was on Sunday? Oh, happy belated birthday. Happy birthday to you. Awesome. First house energy, Aries, Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. Aries season is a great time to get at it, right? It's going to give us that energy of go. Maybe we haven't all felt it yet. We're coming out of some powerful retrogrades and transitions here, but loving yourself, loving yourself. And look, we have almost like what looks like a blood moon here. And that might mean something for the ladies. That might mean something for the almanac. I'm not sure, but you take it for what it means for you. Let's get a card from the Empath's Oracle. This is a really cool abstract deck. Whew. All right. What do we need to hear the most? And it's number 3, realizing empathy as, and it says revolution, and the R is kind of in parentheses in front of the evolution. Realizing empathy as revolution. And so we've got our own personal evolution, our personal goals of finding peace through the pain, finding peace through the fatigue, finding a peace through the noise and the distractions, right? A number 3 pulls us into that. I'm getting that dynamic of creation and getting ignited and then bringing it out into the world, kind of like that triangle of your power. It's kind of like a right angle, powerful energy that comes through your heart. And then offering yourself. It's important to offer yourself a little bit of empathy, a little bit of compassion sometimes, especially when you feel like a failure, you feel knocked down, you feel guilty. Gifting yourself a little bit of compassion. And then also when you have the opportunity to extend that empathy or compassion to another, doing it when your heart calls you to, when you feel like you're in that alignment to do so. And that is how we rebuild connections. That is how we build the bridge of Hagalaz here. That is how we ride the Bifrost. Looking at the colors in here, the rainbow bridge of the Bifrost. The light reflects in those colors. Roy G. Biv. Big fan of Roy G. Biv. The color spectrum, right? As light energy. That's that natural light that we see. Thank you so much for joining tonight, y'all. It's been a pleasure to kind of be outside in the elements and see a few of you on here and say hello and kind of plug all the wonderful shows and content that's out there that you guys can listen to. I hope that even in moments of pain and stress and fatigue, and when you're just feeling down and you're feeling like things are a little weighted down, that you can find that baby step, that you can take at least the baby step, you know, and maybe that's the challenge walking away tonight, is to take that baby step. What are you going to do tomorrow that's going to serve you? And can you commit to that? Can you commit to that in alignment with you, your connection, your sacred connection to the planet, and how you can align with creation? Because you are a fractal, you are a creator being. And I wish you all such a lovely evening. I will put the replay up, and take care, all right? Bye.